Good day to you, and thank you for joining this week's episode of the Real Talks with Doc. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and turn on those post notifications. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's it going?
It is going with this rain for 2 days, hot, rain for 1 day, hot, rain for 10 days. Man, where do I start? We're really pressing forward to get this assisted living facility started. Shout out to my partner, Shayla. She and I are embarking on this new adventure in business. We'll be breaking ground literally on our first assisted living facility in Cumberland, Maryland. It is called North Morning Star Assisted Living Facility. And yes, if you have an elderly that is in need of care, be ready because we'll be opening our doors with 16 brand new beds in November of 2026. So that's new, Ken. We're excited about that. So you're going to be shooting a lot of content because I'm really excited because I've never built an assisted living facility, never thought of building an assisted living facility, but more importantly, we'll be owning and operating our first assisted living facility, and really excited to get into a new business that gives back to the community in a different way. We'll be helping our elderly citizens in terms of their care. So yes, big major project we're doing actually in McLean, Virginia, very affluent community in Fairfax County here in Northern Virginia. And we're doing a complete rear addition to the basement, the first floor, second floor, and tearing off the roof to tie into the existing roof to add a roof on the extension of about 3,000 square feet. We're increasing the size of this home. Shout out to a wonderful client who keeps me on my toes, my P's and Q's, my main Zach. Zach Attack is what I call him. So man, so happy to have great clients like Zach and his wife, Monica. And we are looking to wrap them up very soon because I know they want their home back and their space back in this new addition that we're adding. So shout out to you, Zach. Love you, brother. You've become not only a great client, but a great friend who taught me the game of pickleball. I got to get back out there with Zach and this pickleball. Never played pickleball before until my man Zach not only introduced me, but took the time to train me on the concept, the basic movements, and the rules of the game. So now I like pickleball, okay? Have you ever played pickleball before?
No.
Man, it's addictive. You got to play some pickleball, okay?
What's one renovation decision homeowners make that immediately wastes money and causes ripple effects later?
So that's a twofold question, because the first part of that question must address, is the homeowner plan on living there and enjoying that renovation for a very long time? The second angle to that question would be, is that homeowner making that renovation so they can maximize and capitalize on that renovation because they're getting ready to sell? So which angle are we attacking? Because you're going to have two different responses.
Let's tackle both.
Okay, so let's look at the first one. So if they're making a renovation for their enjoyment, your home is your castle. Your home is your place of refuge. Your home is where the heart is. There is no waste in money on a renovation if it is for your enjoyment. I tell people that all the time. For me, I personally always build as big as my dream and my pockets can afford, because that's my home and it's for me to enjoy. It's for me to experience. It's for me to love every single day when I come home from this crazy world. So whatever you invest in your home for you to give you just that peace of mind, that sanctuary that you're always going home to rest, restore, and rejuvenate, there is never a waste of money, because that is for you, and everyone has different things. Now, if you're putting in money to renovate so that you can resell and capitalize and maximize that investment, the biggest waste I see, man, when people come up with these fluky colors. Do not put orange, purple, green, pink colors just because you like it. Don't do that. Like, just neutralize colors and give people a blank slate. I give you one even better. If you're doing a renovation, here's my little quick cheat sheet. Here's my code I'm going to give you. That's a cheat sheet. Don't invent the wheel. Be a copycat. And what I mean by that, don't invent the wheel, be a copycat. I'm telling you, this is a great time for you to be a copycat. And don't invent the wheel. Don't do what you think is going to work. Copy what has worked. So when I'm doing a renovation, whether it's a quick flip, whether it's a long-term project, I immediately go and look at what is the highest thing or things that have sold on the market. I'm looking at their design concept, I'm looking at their layout, I'm looking at the elevations, I'm looking at the color palette, I'm looking at all, and when I see a consistent trend, and when I see a consistent theme, and those things that have consistently sold for the highest in that neighborhood, that's what I'm copying all day long, all day and all night, because they've already set the blueprint. Like, why am I gonna go and reinvent what is working, and they've already shown and demonstrated that this is a proven concept, this is a proven renovation design with a color theme that people want to pay premium dollar for. I don't want to mess with that formula. I don't want to chance that formula. You don't want to mess with that formula. You don't want to chance that formula. So to answer the second part of that question, okay, I tell people be a copycatter and go back and look at what is sold for the highest thing in your neighborhood, and that's what you copy. And that's what you invest your money in renovating. Because I want you to go make that money. Yes, go get that money. Get every penny you deserve for being mindful enough to know that you need to invest in real estate and not be a renter. So yeah, go copy what has worked. And if you need some help, you can always direct message me. I'm here to assist.
What do most GCs get wrong when it comes to the order of operations with full renovations?
Well, that's a two-part question, because if I'm GCing for my own project, it's totally different than GCing for a client's project. Two different things, right? So if I'm GCing for my own project, the major thing that I know we need to improve on every single day is being so meticulous in our planning that we can immediately identify when a project gets off schedule, why it got off schedule, so that we're consistently hitting our deadlines 100% of the time. That's something that we need to get better with as a company in terms of executing high-level planning. Piss-poor planning leads to piss-poor performance. High execution of planning leads to high execution in your performance. And that's something that, as a company, we work on every single day. Like, in our order of operations, the most important thing is, how do we plan before we send anybody to a site? How do we plan even before we show up to a job? How do we plan even before we send one set of materials to a job to know what materials are going to be needed for that week, so we're very efficient and not wasting time and resources and running back and forth getting materials because we haven't thoroughly thought through a plan of execution. Now, for clients, one thing that we get or we can improve upon, or one thing that GCs commonly make the mistake in the order of operations, is making sure that you thoroughly sit down with the client and have communication about what they're expecting, about your systems, processes, and procedures, what your workflow looks like, what their role and responsibility is in the construction process, and making sure you answer any questions that they can anticipate so that there are no assumptions, there's no guessing on who's responsible for what the daily workflow is going to look like, and more importantly, how do you attack and answer problems and issues that come up in a timely manner so that the client never loses your confidence as a general contractor in a big investment that they've entrusted you with. So one thing that general contractors miss the mark on is just sitting down. Sometimes it's not just one meeting, sometimes it's 2 or 3 meetings, because clients really got to think about things. They got to think about making sure they budget match the scope of the work that they're expecting, and making sure that what happens when there's a change order that could be tens of thousands of dollars that nobody would know until you tear a wall out and you see that you got termites behind all of the framing on the first floor, and you got to rip all that framing out. You just can't tie into it. Like, there's so many things that can happen, especially on big construction projects, renovation projects, because you just don't know what's behind the walls. You just don't know What's under the concrete slab if you have to do any underpinning? You just don't know. So having those conversations with clients like, this is what you can expect if this has happened. This is what we've experienced with a home in this neighborhood or a home that is this old. This is what you can expect that could be a potential problem down the road. And when you really thoroughly have those conversations with clients, it makes such a great relationship, and it makes for the ease in minimizing the stress when those situations do, and they will come up, because you've already prepped the client for that and you've already talked through those things so the client is prepared mentally, so it's not physically taxing on their wallets.
That's good information. Last question. If someone has $200K to renovate,
$200K, that's a lot of money.
what's the smartest way to spend it for long-term equity, not just aesthetics?
Man, finding those diamonds in the rough. That's what I tell people all the time. Believe it or not, the ugliest properties are your most profitable properties. I'm gonna say that again. The ugliest properties are your most profitable properties. What do you mean by that? Like how can an ugly, dilapidated, messed up property be my opportunity to maximize the highest profitability? I'm gonna tell you how. Think about it. If you go and you purchase somebody else's property with your $200K that's done all the work, that person is looking to get compensated for the work you decided not to do. So guess what? You're paying for that work. You're paying a premium for that work. And anytime you pay a premium for anything, the word premium and profitability, they do not go together, right? And that's why you're paying a premium, because someone has done the work that they're gonna profit off of to pay you the premium. Don't be the premium fool. I don't like that word, but that was the first thing that popped up. But don't be the premium fool. Be the profitability king is what I want you to be. So take that $200K, find a neighborhood that has what I call high resale value on the price per square foot for the after retail value. What do I mean by that? If you took that $200,000 and you bought a house that was $75,000, that means you have $125,000 to renovate. So if you took, just to keep the math simple, if you took a 1,000 square foot home and you renovated that home, is my math that fast? You about to put me on this spot. If you renovated the home at $200,000 and it is 1,000 square feet, that means you have paid $200 a square foot for the renovation. Yeah, $200 times 1,000 is $200,000. See, my math is good early this morning in my head. Now, that's what you pay for it. That's your acquisition cost per square foot. The acquisition plus the construction. Now, what if you can take that same $200,000 home and sell it for $400,000? That is a 100% increase in value. So, and let me tell you how, 100% increase. So now that 1,000 square foot home now sells for $400 a square foot, which means you just made 100% return on your investment. So what you want to look at is what that rental acquisition cost is, which was $200 a square foot, versus the ARV cost that you profit on at the end, which is $200 a square foot. $200 a square foot minus $400 a square foot minus $200 a square foot, you just made an extra $200 a square foot on your investment. That's 100% return on investment. Now, there are deals out there that's sweet. Yes, we've had deals out there we've made 100% return on investment and more. Now, is that a realistic number to expect on every deal? Absolutely not. If you can get anywhere from 20 to 35%, that's a great investment, and that's what you're looking for. What is that after retail cost per square foot that you can get versus with what you put in for the acquisition and what your rental cost is gonna cost? Those are the diamond in the rough that you look for, and the higher that percentage is, the bigger that diamond is, baby. Trust and believe, and there's some diamonds out there. So go out there, put in the work, put that $200,000 to work. If you need us to help, no charge to you, just give you some neighborhoods that are great neighborhoods to be investing in right now, especially with the market not doing so well. Interest rates are still high, Donald Trump is still crazy, and we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. put your money to work. Don't have it in the bank looking at you. Get that Warren Buffett money going where your money is making money on your money, and you can do it. I believe in you. Trust yourself.
All right, so on that note, what are some encouraging words you have for us?
Man, there are always words of encouragement. I have this planner, and every day has a quote of the day. And I like the quote of the day, and I thought that was very thoughtful. Oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. If it is important enough, you will find the time to do it. And if it's not, you will find an excuse. Simple quote, but yet so powerful. People are always talking about, I don't have time to do this. And I got busy with this and that. You will find time to do the things that are important. And if you don't do them, you're just going to make up excuses. So words of encouragement for me always is that never let it rest until your good becomes your better becomes your best. Do more than what you did yesterday to be a better version of what you were yesterday, because you are your only competition in this world. Nobody else and nothing else except you. And when you stop making excuses and you do the things that you say you're going to do because they're important to you, that's why you set them in the first place, it takes you to higher levels in life and it puts you in a different stratosphere. But only you can do that, and only you, through the grace of God, can put yourself there, because all that you desire is all for you to gain, because God has given us dominion over this earth, and we have to walk with purpose. But we have to do our part. So stop making excuses and go out there and get all that is rightfully yours, not just in monetary things and materialistic things, but also the joy and the wonders that you experience in life that has no monetary value. Go out there and do the things that you say you're going to do. If you say you want to go snorkeling in Cancun, then make sure your finances are not out of whack and you can fly to Cancun and go snorkeling, because that's what you said you're going to do, and stop making excuses. If you say you're going to add that deck onto your house that your wife has been asking you about for 6 summers now because y'all can't grill, and every time you step down the 3 concrete steps, you're on the grass, go build that deck for your wife and stop making excuses, because that would be important to you, because it's important to her. And I'm just talking about one of my friends. That's why that thought came in my head. Go do what you say you're going to do and stop making excuses. Make it count. Make it matter, because you're better than that. And I want you to be better than you were yesterday. And on that note, Kay, I'll see everybody at our next construction site.